Hi there, my name is Dustin Warnke and welcome to our video today titled, So You Want to Start a Hunting Show. So this is for folks that are just getting started in the hunting industry with filming a hunting show. What do I do next? We get a lot of emails with the Hunting Channel Online, and I get those passed on to me as kind of the affiliate marketing director for handling those kind of things for the Hunting Channel. So basically I just decided to make a video with my experience in the industry and also what I've learned from working with businesses in the industry as well. So first of all, who am I? I'm Dustin Warnke. I am a co-host of Mac and Prowler, as well as a marketing director for Mac and Prowler, which is a TV show that focuses on predator hunting. I'm not much of a predator hunter, at the time I did this at least, and so I handle a lot of the big game hunts and bow fishing and a lot of the other parts of our video and product segments as well. And you're in my little studio here, and I'll show you how I created and what goes into all this in just a minute. But I also am the affiliate marketing director for the Hunting Channel Online, so I handle all the affiliate management and try to take care of getting the Hunting Channel Online marketed. And I also am the owner of my own business, which is called Warnke Enterprises, which I do several different aspects and roles for the hunting industry in PR, marketing, consulting, advising, and those kind of things for different products and services on the market, as well as I also build websites for the hunting industry and other industry related things as well. So I have a lot going on in my life always, but I've been meaning to do this video for a long time. I get a lot of questions from a lot of shows. Okay, how do we do this? What do we need to do? What do we not need to do? What kind of equipment do we need to use? All those kind of different aspects get asked to me every day. And instead of responding to all of those emails, I figured it would be easy to make a tutorial video to show you how I do what I do, how I got my start in the hunting industry, and how I got my start with Mac and Prowler, our TV show, and kind of show you some of the things that I've done over the years to be successful at this. So let's start off with the basics of where you film your hunt. A lot of you may already have land, some of you may just have the dream of starting a hunting show and have no place to hunt. Well, where I got started in the industry is actually barter and trading with DB Hunting Ranch, which is one of the ranches that I am actually the the marketing director for and PR director and do all their outside sales. I actually came to the ranch owner. I'm not saying it's going to work with every ranch you go to, but I said, you know what, let me do some marketing for you, let me do some PR work to try to advertise the ranch. And back then all we were selling was hog hunts and ram hunts, low fence, nothing fancy. They had a full-time job and did this part of the ranch part-time, and I helped them build enough business to where they could move that full-time and then add lodging and places for people to stay in, accommodations and skinning racks, and I kind of saw that whole process develop. But part of it was the value that I provided to that ranch. And just saying, hey, you know what, I'd like a place to hunt, I'll sell some hunts or do some service or some other work for you in trade for you letting me come hunt. And to them, all they're out is the cost of the animal and the time to take me hunting, which I can even go out with a group of hunters and hunt while they're hunting as well. So it doesn't cost them that much, and it's also providing an immense value in return for what they're giving us, or they're giving me. So that's how I got started in places to hunt. I also hunt a deer property for deer hunting. I filmed quite a few deer hunts there this year. And I basically went to the neighbor that was I was hunting on the property. It's very, very small urban woodlots. And basically the guy was sick. He got cancer. The guy I was hunting with before, and I was on his property. His property was for sale. I went to the neighbor. She was an elderly lady, and she said, you know, I don't have a lot of help around here. I said, what can I do? I'm a big, strong guy. I can, you know, chop down some trees or whatever. So she just asked me every once in a while, hey, pay some guy to mow my yard, which is $50 every once in a while. Or I have this tree that fell on my house before this last hunting season. Went over there with a chainsaw, cut it all up into pieces into firewood for her. So simple requests like that. Now, with our world increasingly being kind of in its own little center today and everybody kind of worried about their own issues, you may not find people that are going to be as receptive to that as I did, but you can certainly plug away and try. Again, it's all about building relationships and building value for yourself when you find hunting land. And make sure that you showcase the people and the businesses that you represent to get anything for free or in trade or barter in this business for you to be able to continue to receive those things. That's a very, very important thing to consider. Okay, so when you're filming, whatever you do, you want to incorporate about 4 different things. You want to educate your hunter. This is one reason why a lot of people actually watch hunting TV to begin with, is for the education. You want to promote your sponsors. You want to tell a story in your hunt. This is part of the entertainment part of it, okay? And you want to share the experience, okay? everything through the eyes of you as the hunter. Everything through you. That's what people want to see. They don't want to just see somebody go out and kill something. They can watch that on YouTube or Vimeo or any of these other places where you've got streaming video that can be uploaded by anybody, and it's not very even professionally done very well. They just kind of barely, get it out there and just, kill shot compilations, okay? People can watch that anywhere. What you want to showcase with your show is, how do I get out there? How do I do this? Educate me on what I need to do. How can I be a better hunter? And what can I do to be a better storyteller as well? What can I do to tell a story to put the viewer in those shoes and inside the actual action of the hunt? So those are definitely some good things to consider. I don't really use scripts. I'm not using scripts to do this. Obviously, I'm talking from the heart. You can rehearse and memorize what you want to say before the hunt, but I don't do a whole lot of that. I just try to put myself in the moment where I'm at and speak from here, not from, some script I've memorized. I'll go through and rehearse how I want a hunt to be set up or how I want to take care of doing something, but I won't necessarily make a big deal out of, oh my gosh, I'm here, or act a whole lot. I see that done in a lot of shows, and it really ticks me off. I hate looking at shows that look Hollywood, and I know a lot of hunters do too. You also want to keep a good idea on what you're doing for pre-roll and B-roll when it comes to your scenery. You'll see when I do a lot of my hunts, I try to film the flora and the fauna, the environment around me that I'm hunting in. So that way you kind of get a mind's eye perspective of what you're looking at while you're on your hunt. People don't want to necessarily just see the kill shot. They want to get the experience of what it's like when you're on that hunt. So get some good B-roll or side roll film and then set up your hunt. Tell about the story. Talk about what you're doing. Why are you there? How did you get there? Promote whoever brought you there, and film the whole situation. I do a lot of hunts on my own where I don't have a whole lot of people to talk to and a whole lot of interaction and that kind of stuff going on. But whenever I do, I try to capitalize on that. This is our whole situation that we have here. Here's the, these guys are over here hunting this, we're over here hunting this, and tell the story when you set up your hunt. It's very, very important. All right, I'm looking at my laptop here to give me some more cues on what to say. Okay, a lot of people ask me, what kind of equipment do you use? I have a very basic set of equipment that I use for filming personally. Our show has a ton of big time expensive cameras and that kind of stuff that they use for everything, but we're about 7 hours apart in driving distance. So what I've done is just bought my own equipment that's good enough for me filming stationary hunts by myself and letting them kind of do their own thing. So basically I film and produce all of my own hunts and my own tech segments like the one here I'm filming and producing. I'll walk you through how I do that. What camera do I use? Well, you can use all kinds of different cameras on the market. A lot of them are very small now and compact, but pack a whole lot of technology in a small package. So the camera that I'm hunting on, I'm going to show you a picture of right now. This is a Canon HD camera, and it has it's an actual Vixia HF-R10. So this camera is a camera that I actually bought used a while back, and I actually went through and just purchased it from a guy off of Craigslist that was just getting out of film school. So we actually use this to produce some professional video projects. The cost for me to buy it used was $210, and that came with everything except for SD cards, and I went and bought a spare battery for it as well. So whenever I'm going into the field, I obviously will carry my camera in a case like this. There's a lot of different types of cameras you can use. I'm a fan of the camcorder, and I'm a real fan of the small, compact carry camcorders for hunting. That's not going to be the best, especially if you're going to be filming a lot for TV and that kind of stuff. For internet and that kind of thing, it's fine. And for the purpose of my videos and that kind of stuff, it gets by and it gets me done. And I don't like to carry a lot of heavy, bulky equipment in the field at all. So the one thing that I use definitely is a carrying case for my camera. I use a tripod, which I'll show you a picture of as well if I haven't already. It's not a very expensive tripod. This one I even bought from a friend for 20 bucks. Okay, you can buy tripods at just about any computer or electronics store out there, and they're very inexpensive. The heavier the better because of the weight. Good ones will even have a sandbag hook like mine does. You can basically hang a sandbag just to weight it down better so the wind and that kind of stuff doesn't become an issue. You don't have to spend a ton of money on a good camera. I would recommend, and most hunting shows are going now to all HD cameras instead of SD cameras. This summer I hadn't bought this camera yet. I'm sorry, this past fall I hadn't bought this camera yet. So I went through and and purchased this camera, or before I purchased that camera, my father-in-law gave us a camera because our son was born in 2009, and I just used that camera. It was a regular Canon SD camera. It's a very, very small camera. It's even smaller than this one, but it has a little flip-out viewfinder and records to SD cards, did everything I needed it to do. Yes, it was SD quality. Yes, HD is better, but it takes up a lot more space, and certainly requires a little bit better, editing software and that kind of stuff too. But that SD camera did fine for my hunting season this last year. So you can certainly use what you have. You don't have to necessarily go out and invest thousands of dollars in the camera. Like I said, the one I'm filming on right now is $210 with the bag and everything else as well. Okay. So inside here I've got a little micro USB charging cable and video cable to go in between the computer. Whenever I get home, the first thing I do is plug in my camera and plug in my SD card to the computer, plug in my camera to the charger. I also always carry, I don't necessarily carry this in the field, but I have in here a pocket with an SD card, actually 2 SD cards. The one I'm recording on right now is a Series 10, Class 10 is what they call it, SD card. These are two gig backup cards, okay, just in case I'm really rolling hard. And so carry extra SD cards. It does not hurt you at all. I also carry an extra battery for this camera, all right, because if I'm out in the field, I'm going to definitely have some backup so I don't get halfway through the hunt and then I'm out of batteries, because I always carry a backup. So I ended up buying a backup for this one. You can buy a backup for any camera that you have. One of the guys that I collaborate with a lot, Jim Green, he actually had a very famous and popular TV show on the National Geographic Channel for a while. He films a lot of videos for his Down East Gun Works shop out of Maine on an HD flip camera, and that's completely fine too. Those are easy and portable. They're about the same size as an iPhone, and you can take them around, pop out the little SD card, stick them in your computer, you're good to go. As I mentioned before, when you're talking about SD cards, my personal preference, and I learned this from Bill Henson, and I'll talk more about Bill in just a minute, but I'm a personal fan of the Series 10 or Class 10 SD cards. There's several different brands on the market. That's not a brand, that's a type or a quality of the SD card. I filmed on another poor quality SD card this past summer, got through one of our most popular videos, and the camera just quit. And it was not recording, even though it said it was recording. It was not recording accurately on the SD card, and that drove me nuts. So buy the most valuable, how should I say it, high quality SD card that you can afford. The one that I'm filming on right now cost about 50 or 60 bucks, and it's a 32 gigger, so it's going to last you for a while and be able to store quite a bit of footage. But keep in mind, HD cameras do use up a lot of footage, okay? And the camera that I put this in is actually, I'm looking at it right now, 3 hours and 37 minutes of recording time left. So in the scope of things, 32 gigs can get taken up just like that. That's a very good point. So one of the best places that you could possibly go for your video gear if you want to buy it new is videogearshop.com. This actually is owned by Bill Henson, which is Prowler from Mac and Prowler, and he does all of our video production, as well as has a ton of incredible gear from Canon and several other dealers, as well as music loops and all kinds of other different things. So Video Gear Shop. Also, Video Gear Shop will also be there along with a bunch of us out there that are on your side when it comes to helping you get started in this industry and get your show started. They're also there to help evaluate your video and even do some video production and editing and everything if that's what you would like to do. So if you don't want to edit your own video, if you want to figure out how to get music that's legal to use and that kind of stuff, contact videogearshop.com. Like I said, they're one of the sponsors for our show. It's owned by a good friend of mine, Bill Henson. It's an incredible place to get all of the equipment that you need brand new for hunting, as well as some other equipment. Let's talk about some other equipment that you might possibly need on your hunt as well. I'm wearing a wireless microphone. That's because I've got so much echo here and inside where I'm sitting right now. So that's just one thing you want to keep in mind, is where you can and where it makes sense. If you're filming right in front of the camera, it's not necessarily that important to wear a wireless microphone, but the one thing it helps you do, and a wireless setup will help you do, is be inside the camera instead of having that awful echo outside of the camera that some videos have. So that's one thing you definitely want to keep in mind. What I have for a wireless setup is a Samsung wireless UHF Series 1, and then I've got the corresponding wireless microphone and the wireless transmitter. And they're right here in front of me where I'm filming. But basically, there's a lot of echo where I'm at. You're not really hearing that big time on the video because of how I'm using it. Now, a setup like that's going to cost you probably $200 or so for a good wireless camera setup, but let me tell you, when you're filming inside in kind of an echo-prone area like this where you have a lot of echo and maybe external sounds going on around you, this is a good way to contain your audio. If you're also filming, which I've done before, interviewing someone, putting the microphone in between the two of you is another good idea as well. Especially when you're outside in windy conditions. You'll see this on a lot of hunting shows. They'll just go right up to the microphone and speak like this because the wind will just kill your video. And I've seen so many videos that have so much wind noise in them that I can hardly even watch them. I saw one of a very rather famous guy the other day that it was just like, dude, enough with the wind noise already. You know, you're killing me here. So keep that in mind. So definitely invest in a good wireless microphone system, a good tripod, a good camera. And then keep in mind to tell your story, visit with the viewers about the experience that you're having, and educate, and then definitely promote your sponsors. And we'll talk some more about that in the product sponsor and money sponsor segment that we're going to film next. Okay, next up, let's talk about when you're using music and when you're editing. So you're done with all of your video. The first thing I come in and to my office whenever I get back from a hunt or any kind of filming session like I'm doing today. I'm going to film several different videos. I basically take my SD card out because that's where my video is recording right now. And as I mentioned, a good Class 10 Series 10 SD card is very, very good. I plug that into my my laptop or my hard drive on my computer, and I immediately download my video. The one thing you want to avoid doing is ever having any kind of risk of compromise in the video that you've worked so hard to do. So one thing I have is an automatic backup. I use Carbonite, but there's Mozy and several other different off-site backups to run a complete backup of all your files the minute that you upload them. You may have a broken SD card, you may have a broken camera, you may have some kind of issue with extracting those files later. It's better to have them backed up now, and I can tell you that saved my bacon more than a few times on a lot of video that I've not had to reshoot because I have had them backed up. That's very, very important to do. Now, that all being said, I also put my camera on the charger, and I always carry 2 batteries like I said. I'll make sure both of them are fully charged for the next hunt. Call me a little obsessive compulsive, that's okay. Call me a little ADHD, that's all right. My stuff's ready to go for the next hunt. I don't have to worry about dead batteries and stuff because I very, very, very much concentrate on taking care of the stuff as soon as I'm home from the hunt, so I'm ready to go for the next hunt. So, again, a good video that you need. For good video equipment, a good video, you also need an awesome wireless transmitter system if you can afford it, and then a good tripod, okay? And then get home, do your editing, and when you do your editing, you can use several different programs out there. Some of them cost a lot more than other ones do, but the one thing that I try to use a lot is TrackX PC Pro. This is a program most people have never heard of. It actually originated and the program was built in Ireland of all places. But it's it's perfect if you're editing on a PC. If you're editing on a Mac, there's several different programs. We're just going to talk about PC editing because that's what I'm most familiar with when I did this video. So TrackX PC is basically a very, very simple editing program once you get the hang of it. There's several different tutorial videos out there to help you with editing, and the cost is $39. For the basic pro version of it. If you think about the cost of so many other editing softwares, Adobe CS5, which Bill uses Prowler with our team to produce our TV show, it's going to cost you by over $1,000. Several other editing softwares out there are going to cost you between $500 to $1,000 just for the software, even if it's just software and not even a CD. So you can download a bunch of different ones, but they're going to cost you a lot. TrackX for the whole kit and caboodle. $40, all right, out the door. You can also buy music loops and legal music equipment and that kind of stuff, or at least legal music loops for you to use in your video, where you don't have to pay royalty or copyright on that. And that's another question that a lot of people ask me. Where do you get your music? Well, I get mine from Video Gear Shop. I recommend you consider Video Gear Shop for your music needs as well. A lot of shows I see on the internet today will use copyrighted music, and that's a huge no-no. for a lot of different reasons. Professionally, it looks bad, and then legally, it's just not right. You may not get in huge super trouble, but I suggest anything that you're going to put out for the public to see, use unique music that's legal and royalty-free, where you're not going to have to worry about a lawsuit or anything else down the road. Videogearshop.com, again, is a great place to check out different music and check out different music sources in that regard. So check them out, see what is available there. And they have a bunch of the music that I use in my video is all, again, copyright free and or royalty free and copyright reserved. So you would definitely want to be okay with all of that and want to make sure you're in good eyes with everybody like that. The rule typically is about 10 to 15 seconds of copyrighted music you can legally use without getting in trouble. But again, beware, make sure you know the laws, and make sure you edit using those laws correctly. You don't want something to come bite you in the rear later, for sure. Okay, next up, let's talk about setting up your industry contacts and setting up how you connect and network in the industry. This is something I'm very, very, very well versed in, because this is how I started my whole business of Warnke Enterprises and working with the hunting show. Basically, I started out working with a couple of different small businesses, building websites and getting to know some folks in the industry, which just blew up to a bunch of different other avenues and where I am today. So I have been very successful in that regard of the hunting industry, and this is the way I did it. Basically, you just start small, network with a few people, use that as a foundation then to build up and continue to get more and more success off of your foundation of success. So my recommendation is to try to get your favorite products. If they have a pro staff program, like Grim Reaper was one of my favorite broadhead products. I found out they had a pro staff program. It's very limited. It only had 100 people nationwide, and they were starting to whittle away those. And I said, look, here's all my kill pictures, here's all my photos, here's what I plan to do with you on the TV show that I'm working with, and can you please make me pro staff? Well, what do I get as a pro staff? Most places you're gonna get a couple of packs of product and then maybe a t-shirt or a hat, okay? That's it. But you at least have that title in the industry. And that doesn't mean everything to everybody, but that at least gives you some clout or some kind of credentials in the industry where you can talk to other folks. Now, pro staff is not everything. There's pro staff for several different companies out there, and a lot of us that are active in the industry are pro staff for a bunch of different companies. But that does help you establish that you know what you're talking about, you understand those products and programs that you're pro staff with, and definitely try to establish yourself in the industry as well. Basically, pro staffing is a good way to network with folks in the industry, with businesses, guide services, products, different things in the market today. Like I said, I'm pro staff for several different companies and come out and visit with quite a few people about those. I get invited to events like Cabela's retail store I was at a while back with GarQuest, who I pro staff for. I've done many gun shows and all kinds of other different venues for DB Hunting Ranch, which I pro staff for. And anytime any of my companies that I pro staff for come to me and say, can you go do this event or whatever, if I can squeeze into the schedule, I will go do it. Because again, those are ways for you to network and get more influence and friends and networking in the industry when it comes down to asking for favors and asking for people to sponsor you down the line with your show. So that all being the case, let's talk again about money sponsors and product sponsors. Those are your two main categories in the hunting industry of how things work. You have your money sponsors, which basically can be product sponsors as well, depending on the relationship that you have. And then you have product sponsors. Product sponsors is the easiest one to talk about and probably the easiest one out of all of them to get, because basically you deal with only product. They basically trade you for your time and a little bit of airtime and you mentioning and using their product on the show for giving you some free product, and that's pretty much the way that it works. So basically they send you a couple to several $100s or maybe several $1,000s worth of product in trade for you including them in the show at the end credits, at the beginning, as a title sponsor, however you want to work the relationship, but you're using the product in the show. The main thing that you want to watch out for with product sponsors, and make sure when anybody sends you anything, make sure you use it and make sure you provide value to them to continue to build the relationship. That's one reason why I set up a studio like I have right here, is so you don't have to, I don't have to go apologize to anybody later that I didn't use their product. I'm gonna film a whole bunch of product segments today, as a matter of fact, and say, hey, this is how I'm using the product in the field. This is how we're going to use it in this upcoming hunt, or I'll even set up hunts in this little studio that I have set up here and say, hey, this is the way I'm going to utilize the product on this hunt, and so on and so forth. So I usually put the product right here, talk about it, send that video then to the actual, vendor, to the actual product sponsor, and say, here is how I'm building your brand. Here is how we are taking this and going viral with it. And again, that's the way to make friends and influence people in the industry. By the way, speaking of, really good book out there. Dale Carnegie, perfect for any kind of different situation you have in life. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Check out that book. That's perfect for the hunting industry because it's very competitive, especially when it comes to money sponsors. This has been a struggle for many shows for a long time. The reason is because everybody is out there trying to get the same kind of money sponsors. So one thing you want to do is approach people with your hat in your hand, okay? And proverbially, I mean, show up with an idea of humility, not just kind of Leroy Jenkins style where you're just kind of going in there and just, just go crazy, because we got this show and we're going to be on here and we're the best thing that's ever happened in the hunting industry. People have heard all of that before, especially in the hunting industry. The industry is full of a bunch of big egos of a bunch of guys that think that they're bigger than the next guy. And the problem with that is you've got to differentiate yourself. What I try to do is approach sponsors with the right viewpoint of, look, I am here with this show. Here's where we're airing right now. We may just be online. We may just be starting out. But here's how we plan to show your sponsorship. Here's how we plan to showcase your products or services on our show. Have us have a hunt on your ranch, or have us take out and use some of your products on the show. And maybe even consider, if you're having trouble earning their favor, even consider taking and using some of their products on the show without them necessarily even being a sponsor yet. And then take the video to them and say, hey, look, this is what we've done so far. This is what we're doing with your product so far. They're going to probably at least pay attention to you when you show them that they're not even sending you anything yet and you're still using their product on your show. That being the case, I actually did that with a sponsor this year. We had a gun stock sponsor that actually I was really interested in getting in touch with and getting product from, and because I wanted a new stock for a couple of different guns that I had, and I thought that would be perfect for using on the show. So what I did is I approached them and said, look guys, I used one of your stocks on one of my YouTube videos. It's gotten over almost 30,000 views at the SHOT Show this year. And I did over the summer, and that was about, 6 months. It got about 26,000 views. And so right underneath 30,000 views or whatever, show them the video on YouTube, show them how I was using their stock. They immediately said, tell us where to send it. Tell us where to send the stuff. And they were that impressed that I had used their product in advance. That's the way you want to do it. Now, speaking of which, the SHOT Show, if you can get in, if you can go, it's a perfect place to network, but keep in mind there's going to be a bunch of other TV shows that are going to be there. It's not cheap to go to Vegas and do anything, and definitely you need to have a little bit of a budget there. I typically fly Southwest Airlines out there, and then typically we'll do one of the jackpot deals where I can fly from where I'm at in Austin and be able to go over there and do my thing. So I can usually get there with my wife and I for about $1,000 out the door. That's to there, back, hotel, and everything for 4 days. So that all being the case, what you want to do is simply keep in mind when you are visiting these folks is they get a ton of other shows that are coming by trying to get the same thing that you are. So what you want to do is differentiate yourself, hat in hand, be humble with it, say, listen, here's what we're trying to do, send us a little bit of a product, we will take care of your product, use it on the show, and we want to just build a relationship with you. No, don't start out with just kind of, like I said, Leroy Jenkins style, just going in there and going, hey, we want all the money, we want all this other stuff. There's shows that are bigger and better than you that are already doing that, and they're probably already sponsoring. You want to start off as a product sponsor, build a relationship with them. When you go to something like the SHOT Show, what I typically do is figure out a way to go on a budget because, especially if your show's not making a ton of money or really covering your expenses, at the worst case scenario, you can always take it as a tax write-off. So the SHOT Show is a great place to network. It's not necessarily the absolute best place in the world to necessarily get sponsors because every other TV show and their dog and their family is going to be there, okay? In fact, one sponsor we met with this past year was actually a guy that we just walked in, sat down and talked to. He was with one of these scent elimination companies. And he says, man, you know, you guys are lucky you caught me. I have 12 other shows trying to get the same exact thing you are, even just product sponsorship. Man, he's overwhelmed. And we didn't even have an appointment, and we were lucky to even get down to sit down with that guy and build a relationship with him. So keep that in mind. You're not the only hunting show in the world. The time I made this, I think I looked at about 600 hunting shows out there. Between all the major networks and internet TV, there's probably well more than that. But keep in mind, there's only so many companies, even though there's a lot of them in the industry, there's only so many companies out there that can sponsor, you know, a show. And especially fewer of those that can actually send money to a show versus just product. So keep that in mind, keep your hat in the hand. You know, be humble, be grateful for what you have, and what you have, be sure to provide value in return. That's very, very important. So whether you meet these folks in your local area, you have local companies that you're going around to talk to, bring your iPad or your iPhone or anything like that along and show them some of your video if you've even recorded some of them. You want to definitely build with the basis that you have and start from where you are, bloom where you're planted, you know, all those kind of words, those kind of phrases. You want to definitely just showcase and celebrate your successes with your show, show them how the showcase is done in your show, and just show them how the basic process works and what you're about, what your goals and your value and your motivation are, and let that come through. You don't have to script all this out. I know I'm in sales for a living and marketing, if you can't tell, but it's not very hard to let your real passion come through. And a lot of folks I meet in the hunting industry have trouble doing that, have trouble relating to people, but again, just practice it, just be yourself, and you'll definitely be able to earn some product. Recently, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, I ended up getting a brand new Barnett Barnett BCX, Buck Commander Extreme, to go along with my Barnett C5 Wildcat that I bought a few years ago. And basically they sent me this as part of our TV show. Well, my plan is after I'm done doing this video, I'm gonna bang out a video just for Barnett crossbows featuring my C5 Wildcat and my other crossbow that's brand new. I do that not because I have to, I do that because I want to give them something in return. That's a $750 crossbow. I think it's a top of the line crossbow, but nobody's going to hear about it unless I write about it or unless I do a little video about it. So that definitely is going to be of importance to them. I also received an Air Force air rifle from the nice folks at Air Rifles. It was a Talon P pistol, and that thing is awesome. That's also about a $650 air pistol with all the gadgets and everything else that they sent with it. I wrote them a very nice article and they put it up on their Facebook page and they're happy as can be. But the reason is because, again, I provided value back to them in a timely fashion as soon as I got the product. They're not just sending stuff out just to send stuff out. They're sending stuff out for return on investment, and they want to see what you can do with the product that they send. So keep that in mind with product sponsorship. I don't take product sponsorship any lighter than I take money sponsorship. They're still spending money shipping product to me. Sponsors are still spending some kind of resources getting that product in my hands. I need to provide something in value, whether it's a written article, whether it's a video, whether it's both, whether it's using it on a hunt, however you do it. Make sure you provide value in return. Okay, when you're first talking to folks about sponsorship, keep in mind that you've got to follow up and be persistent. It does not come easy, as nothing is going to fall at your front door, just like anything else in life. Just like filming a hunting show to begin with, it is sometimes a hard and grueling process. There's one sponsor I'm going to email later today. It's a Friday afternoon that I'm filming this. And dear God, I have tried to get in touch with this guy. I've seen him twice at the SHOT Show. He said, bug the crap out of me, get in touch with me, we'll sponsor you. It's an optics sponsor. And I can't get in touch with them, okay? But one thing I've learned in sales is polite persistence. Not being a jerk, not being just roll in there and just, you know, go crazy. Like I said, nobody likes that in this industry. But just politely saying, listen, I'm getting ready to film some videos, which I'm doing right now. And I'd love to use your product on my next product sponsor segment. I'd love to use your product on my next tech tip segment, and constantly show the value. Everybody's asking and listening to the same radio station. That's WYII-FM. What's in it for me? Every company wants to hear that. You want to hear that from me, or you would be watching this video. What's in it for me? What am I really going to learn from this video? What value are you going to give me? What kind of education process are you really going to give me? for this, Dustin. That's what companies are going to ask of you and your show. Are you going to be able to do it? Are you going to be ready to be able to go to those extremes to show their product? And that's one thing that I definitely have to watch out for whenever I'm talking to anybody is, look, you're going to send me something, I'm going to give you something in value. So now that I've kind of beat that dead horse to death, the one thing you've got to be aware of is that everybody in this industry is busy, okay? Everybody has got so many million things they're doing. What I try to do is send a short email, a short video, some way to showcase, hey, here is our show, here's our media kit even. You can email and you can figure out what our media kit looks like. You can go to our website, maggotprowler.com or predatorhuntingtvshow.com, and check out what our media kit looks like. But the basic bottom line is showcase where you are, how many viewers you have, how many Facebook fans you have, and social streaming media, and so on and so forth. So check out those kind of avenues, but keep it short and sweet. People don't have a whole lot of time to read. People are busier than ever, and definitely this is a big time case in the hunting industry. And if people don't get back to you for 3 or 4 weeks, it doesn't mean they don't care, doesn't mean they don't like you, doesn't mean they don't like your show. Be politely persistent, following up with them until they tell you to go away or until they tell you no. And a lot of hunting shows I talk to say, oh, I called that guy one time, or a lot of clients I work with will say, yeah, I explored that opportunity one time, but I never heard back from that person, so I guess they're not interested. No, people are too busy. And some of the best sponsors that we have today are the ones that I followed up and followed up and followed up on multiple occasions. It took me months sometimes to even get a response from them, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And I am now sitting on about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of hunting product that I've been sent because of what I've done for people with the hunting show and with my other outdoor adventures and pursuits and promoting people, that it's worked out really, really well. So keep that in mind. Sometimes all you may get will be product, but again, it's better than nothing, and you want to make sure you show that value back to that sponsor for whatever they do send you. Another thing that I do big time, and I wrote down here to be consistent on, is making sure you have an attitude of gratitude with whatever you do. If you've never read any of the books out there, and a lot of us in the hunting community probably don't read these kind of books, but there's The Secret, and there's several different other books out there, but The Secret is one of them that talks about the law of attraction. Everything I do in this industry, I try to do with an extreme attitude of gratitude. Every video I have, every sponsor I promote, every place I'm hunting, I'm very grateful to be there. I'm very grateful for you watching me and for our viewers watching this video and all those other kind of things. Sponsors see that big time as well. Be grateful for what you receive. Be grateful for what you've had, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for what you will have. That's a very, very important part of it, an attitude of gratitude. And you want to definitely cross-pollinate with as many sponsors as you can. Try to connect as many networking possibilities that are out there. For instance, the other day, I recently linked up the hunting ranch I worked with as a client, DB Hunting Ranch. I took them and actually linked them up with bow fishing. GarQuest Bow Fishing Adventures. Both clients of mine, both in the outdoor industry, both doing it full time, okay? But people that go to the hunting ranch may necessarily not want to kill a hog, but they may want to go on a bow fishing trip. People visiting the GarQuest bow fishing trip may want to go on a hog hunting trip. Mirroring those together, okay? Not that they're in a cooperative partnership with each other, but at least they have a relationship with each other that they can go back and forth. Who's the guy that put all that together? Well, that was me. Could it have been done without me? Probably not. But those are the kind of things people like to see in the network of the hunting industry. They like to move and shake some things around. They like the people that get in there and get people connected and involved. One of the folks that approached me as an affiliate for the hunting channel, I got him signed up with Q20 Blue, which is one of our sponsors, with the QMax products, and with VarmintLights.com, which is one of my other sponsors. So the more networking you can do, the more value you create for your show, the more value you create for yourself in the outdoor industry. People like that. Now, it's not to say that every one of the businesses you work with deserves to be networked. A gun sponsor and an archery sponsor maybe don't belong together. But the more you can do to build on the success that you have, the better. And people look at that, and that's one reason that I really attribute, by the grace of God at least, all of my hunting experience and all of my hunting success stories in the industry. It's because of the networking that I've put together, that I've helped people get together and do things better together in unity and not necessarily be off on their own way and doing their own thing. I try to combine people that have similar resources in the industry together. So that's one thing you can do wherever you are, whatever your sponsors are, whatever landowners you've got, anything like that you can put together. I'm always looking for an opportunity to network businesses together. So that's going to provide a lot of value for you in the industry today. So the next part of the video, we'll talk about airing costs to be on the internet and to be on TV today, as well as ways to promote and market your show. We'll talk about the last part first. Ways to market and promote your show. This is one thing I'm very adamant about and very big on, because I do a lot of work in the industry with websites, as well as with several different hunting related businesses, and trying to get their business cards out, trying to promote, put posters up around wherever I am to try to get the local area hunting businesses together and team up in that regard. So basically, I'm really big about marketing for that reason. So I'll give you some ideas. If you don't have a Facebook page, if you don't have a Twitter page, or whatever the next social marketing revolution is going to be, definitely get one. You want to explore all those options. Some hunting shows just have a Facebook page, some just have a Twitter, some don't have a website at all. I think a website is a personal business card where you can post video, you can post articles, which our website does. I'm kind of the main article contributor in that. Basically, what you want to try to do is network as much of that together as you possibly can. So if you have a YouTube channel, which is free to create, a Vimeo channel, either one of those is fine. You can air on the Hunting Channel Online for free, as long as you become an affiliate with us, and I'll talk more about that in a minute when we talk about airing on places. But you want to definitely establish your brand and build your brand and get out to as many viewers as you possibly can. Social media certainly helps with that. Sites like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and all these different social media sites out there certainly help you do that. It's not the end all though. A lot of people think if you just slap a website up there, if you build it, they will come. Not necessarily. You've got to promote your viewers. You've got to promote to your viewers. Keep fresh content going into your website or your Facebook. Post up a new video, post up a new blog, post up an article or whatever, and drive people. You can also do some pretty inexpensive advertising on Google, as well as Facebook, and several other different social media sites can do that as well. But make sure you're not spending too much on just getting viewers, because viewers don't necessarily pay your bills, okay? Sponsorship does, and then affiliate programs and those kind of things do as well. So it's not just about getting viewers. That's great for sponsorship. It's great for showing off what you're able to accomplish in the industry when you're establishing a new show, but it's not the end all. It's not how the bills get paid, is what I'm trying to say. So that's a very important part of it there as well. All right, so definitely if you can have all of those, that's great. Build a good website. The website provider that we use is Homestead. They have a very easy program to use called Site Builder that I use to build all of Mac and Prowler's website. Most of the website is my invention and work and kind of my OCD and ADHD in action. But it's basically very, very comprehensive. It has a lot of different articles, a lot of different videos, and even broken into different sections. So if people want to just go watch coyote hunting, they just go to one place. And we've divided all of our videos up into different segments based on the species that we want to hunt. So basically, we have a bobcat tail section, a gar tail section for bow fishing. We have a hog tails for hog hunting. And so on and so forth. You can do that however you want to. We just have a lot of different content on our website that we like to showcase, and all of our videos are hosted on YouTube, but as well as some other internet sites, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. So the bottom line, be as many places, promote as many places as you can, do most of it if you can on the cheap, okay? Easily, you can get out there and get a video viral. You've got to be able to find the right keywords and got to find the right people to promote it with. So if you can partner up with other hunting shows, this is what I'm talking about with networking again. Networking with other hunting shows, networking with folks to help pull you up that have already made it in the industry. Those are definitely big considerations to make in the industry when it comes to promoting your show and comes to getting out there and building an audience. So Facebook's going to help you with that. Twitter's going to help you with that. Your own YouTube channel is. So now we're going to talk about the cost to air on TV and the different resources you can go to. There's not just a couple of channels. You can broadcast on several different mediums, and you can also be on the Hunting Channel Online and some other web TV sites as well that are dedicated to the outdoors as well. So let's talk real quick first about web TV. The Hunting Channel Online is obviously one of my favorite places because that's where our show is, and I'm the affiliate manager for the Hunting Channel Online. So it's free to join, it's free to air. All you have to do is just simply link back to us with the affiliate program, and it's easy to do. One of the best ways we've actually helped shows make money, and there's been a couple of shows that actually started off their shows on the major network TVs by making money on affiliates, is on the affiliate program is by basically promoting the affiliate program and promoting the hunting channel online. You get 50% of any subscriber that subscribes to THC, whether you have content out there or not. You can still make money as an affiliate. And like I said, there's a couple of shows that we've actually launched on major network TV because they made enough money to be able to do it from broadcasting with the hunting channel and airing with us and doing the affiliate program alone. So those are definitely good ways you can make money in the hunting industry and good considerations. Okay, so the cost to be on a couple of other different networks that I know about, I will not mention anybody's name, but you're going to pay between $500 to $2,500 all the way up to $10,000 a year to be on some exclusive web TV formatting programs. And the thing is, with web TV, you've got 24/7 access on demand, which is great. Some of those websites are going to be free. Some of them are going to be free for subscribers to look at or for viewers to look at. Some of them, like the Hunting Channel Online, are subscriber-based. And some of them are going to be kind of a mixture of both. But where you really make it with the subscriber base is bringing back to your sponsors that say, hey, we broadcast on the Hunting Channel Online. They're a membership-driven site. And if they're a membership-driven site, they can sit there and you can definitely say that they have already indicated that they're spending money on the hunting industry. They're not just tire kickers. They're out there to educate themselves and spend more money in the outdoor industry than your average tire kicker viewer at home. So that's definitely a good thing to talk about when it comes to subscription-based sites. Plus, with a site like the Hunting Channel Online, you can definitely make money as an affiliate by selling subscriptions and products and so on and so forth through that. Now, that all being said, you can go to several different outdoor networks and stuff like that that are on the internet only. There's several out there. If it costs you something, it should be very little. And the one thing you want to watch out for is making sure you've got a ton of good, unique views. The Hunting Channel Online, at the time I did this video, over 50,000 views a month. And that is substantial up there. It doesn't mean that that many people sign up and become members, but it's getting that kind of online exposure. So I want to make sure that they're getting the amount of traffic that is going to warrant you spending that kind of money. Otherwise, you're just paying their bills. So you want to make sure if it does cost you something that it's going to be a good bang for your buck and a good bang for your sponsor's buck and what they're sending you and where you're putting them as well. Okay? Now, that all being said, you can also be on major network TV. This is a little bit more cost prohibitive for a lot of shows, but I know a lot of shows that have started off small and have done that. Cost to be on Sportsman's Channel, there's a local TV show here that just launched on there for about $75,000 a year. I don't know what duration that is or how many shows. Cost to be on the Pursuit Channel is going to be about that same amount, and then cost to be, it's going to range anywhere between, I don't know, $100,000 to $200,000 in some cases, depending on how long you're on there. Cost to be on the Outdoor Channel is no less than about, I don't know, $250,000, $250,000 for a year. These are all things that I've heard about from looking at the contracts for these kind of shows and that I know from other shows that currently air on there. Currently, our show airs on a couple of different regional networks as well as some other shows, other cable networks that are bigger even than the Outdoor Channel, but are not dedicated to the outdoor industry. So a couple of those are like KTS, Channel 50, and Hope, Arkansas. There are a couple of other shows that are just getting started that are actually on there as well. Cost to do something like that, it's about $400 to $500 a month, about $100 a show. Your show comes on like on a Saturday, and you can run 13 shows plus 13 reruns, and that's going to represent about half of a year, so that's 26 weeks. That's usually the way most TV shows are going to want to approach a broadcast company for air and cable TV. So whenever you do something like that, keep in mind 13 shows for a season and then another 13 reruns, and usually your show will come on once a week, so on and so forth. There's another large cable network that I just mentioned, and that's the Walk TV, which is a Christian-based network that Mac and Prowler has aired on. And basically, cost to be on there is going to be about $500 to $1,000 a month, but you get about 42 million subscribers. And on Saturdays, they have nothing but outdoor-based television shows. So that's kind of a cool thing. So you want to definitely be in understanding of what the costs are. How do you raise money? Well, one way is obviously to approach your product sponsors and ask them for money, but you can definitely, get a large title sponsor out of one of your product sponsors, and it's all about networking and building those relationships again to try to be able to get up to that level with those folks as well. As a follow-up to our video today, I decided I would also record another segment here where I talk about some questions that are frequently asked by new shows that are starting out that approach us. And one of the best questions I got was an email that I got on my iPhone here that I'm going to read a couple of questions off of and answer them here on this video to help you. This kind of represents some of the best questions that I get asked all the time, and I'm really excited about having the chance to answer some of these on film. So this will hopefully help you with some questions that you might have as well. This guy's name is David. He is looking at starting a show, and I'm not sure where in the country he's at, but I'm excited to answer some questions for him. So his first question is, do I need to have a certain amount of episodes? Well, for web TV, no, you don't. If you want to get into doing episodes for straight TV or for satellite or cable or for free air TV, you want to definitely keep in mind, as we talked about before, 13 episodes for a quarter and then another 13 reruns, or if you want to do 2 seasons or whatever. Usually most TV shows have seasons that consist of 13 episodes for 13 weeks of the year, or a calendar quarter of 13 weeks. So that's certainly a good thing to keep in touch with there. Okay, the other question he had was, do I sell individual footage? Sure. You can sell individual footage, but again, everything's about branding. Nobody's going to buy anything from you unless they know who you are and you have some kind of following or fan base. That's just typical. There's so much free stuff out there on the internet. Not a lot of people are going to pay for footage unless they know who you are and unless you establish a brand name there. So that's definitely part of what you can do, but just getting started out, you want to certainly go through and just try it first to build a brand with you. With your show, with you yourself, just get to know the industry a little bit better, and then if you want to sell individual content, there was a sponsor that I talked to, a TV show I talked to a while back, and he wasn't interested in airing on a hunting channel because he says, well, I'm making a ton of money right now selling my episodes on a video demand site, one of those basically, watch on demand video websites like through Amazon. And that's great. If you're able to do that, that's good, but for most of us out there, unless everybody's heard of your show or you have a huge loyal following, it's not as successful as can be when you do have a pretty big following. So keep that in mind and build your following and your brand. Okay, he also asked, does my filming have to be strictly deer hunting or can it be any kind of game? Well, if you look at the Mac and Prowler website, PredatorHuntingTVShow.com or MacandProwler.com, no, we have everything from bow fishing to coyote hunting to bobcat hunting to deer hunting to hog hunting, so on and so forth. All over Texas. Most of our viewers are in Texas, and but really all over the United States and all over the world with the joy of the internet. So don't feel like you have to just produce big game hunting or just predator hunting or just bow fishing. You can certainly branch out and do some squirrel hunting or whatever like that. People like to see things that they don't normally see on TV all the time. You also don't have to go out there and kill the biggest, best animal out there to film a good show. A lot of shows have approached me and said, hey man, we don't hunt like a lot of these guys on TV do. You don't have to. Whenever you're doing your B-roll setup, there's another thing I wanted to mention as well. Whenever you're setting up your shot or whatever you want to do, you don't necessarily have to do all of that live. A lot of times what I do in my blind is I'll set up my shot and me setting up, putting the safety off and all that other stuff ahead or behind of my actual shot on that animal, and then actually edit it all together where it all looks seamless. The idea is to make sure it looks seamless when you're filming and when you're editing, because there's one show, it's very popular on TV that I watched the other day. I had to turn it off because I was so disgusted at the Hollywood type that they used to make this thing, look like it was all staged. It was all staged. But they made it look like, oh, there's the animal. Well, the cameraman's in front of the actual, 2 folks that are hunting. And it's just like, no, that looks like garbage. That looks like it's totally staged Hollywood scripted, stuff. I don't believe any of that stuff. People like to watch real world hunting, and there's some shows bigger than us, much bigger than us, that have been inspired by the way that we do our filming and hunting, that they've actually looked at doing their shows even more real world style. So can't mention who those people are, but they're big names in the industry. Okay, so you don't have to just film one animal, okay? You don't just have to film for trophy bucks or trophy, turkey or whatever the case may be. Certainly include a little bit of everything. People like to see things that are out of their element, I'm in Texas, we don't do a whole lot of bear hunting. I like to watch some bear hunting when I'm watching deer hunting, okay? So don't feel like you have to do just one thing. The other thing is, he asked in his email, is does it have to be a certain length? No, especially not on web TV. When you're dealing with 30-minute slots in TV land, especially with the outdoor networks, or any kind of cable or free air affiliate, you're going to definitely keep to their standards, which is usually about 28 minutes to figure in commercials, their commercials, your commercials, so on and so forth, and however you promote your sponsors and whatever you do with your content. That's why you'll see a lot of full shows that are on the Hunting Channel Online and other websites are exactly 28.28 minutes long, so 20 minutes and 28 seconds or 26 minutes, I forget whatever the rule is, but basically when you're filming for TV, yes, when you're filming for web TV, try to keep it underneath 15 minutes. Try to keep your hunt underneath 10 minutes in a lot of cases. A lot of viewers will tune out, especially if they're watching it on an iPhone or watching it on an iPad or whatever. The attention span on the internet is not as long as it is when you're watching TV, and plus you can fast forward and everything else on internet TV, which is cool. So keep that in mind. All right. Another question he asked, which is really good, how much does it cost to start? Well, it depends on what you want to do and what you want to accomplish and where you want to go. My whole thing is the future of TV period is going to be on the internet, and sites like YouTube and Vimeo and Hulu and all these other websites are getting into that. The only thing is there's so many players in the market in the hunting industry and all over the place that are putting out a bunch of garbage and junk out there. It's just kind of like public transportation. I say this about sites like Craigslist. If everybody gets to ride for free, then it certainly gets gummed up. You have to stand up for your own show. You have to set yourself apart from all the other shows out there, do professional quality footage, and look as professional as something you'd see on TV. That is my goal every time I try to film a video, every time I try to put a video together in production and post-production. You want to make sure for sure that you are putting out the best product available so people will look at you like a serious hunting show. So there's some shows on one particular outdoor network that look like they're filmed in some guy's garage. And even though I do a lot of my stuff on a budget, here in my kitchen, I'm sorry, not kitchen, dining room table area, this is where my studio is, okay? My editing office, I don't go to some fancy production house. I do all my editing in my own regular home office. But you want to make it look like you are you're serious and you know what you're talking about, and your footage comes out good. And like I said, there's resources out there like Video Gear Shop and the Hunting Channel Online. You can see other videos, you can check out and get some help if you need some help with even editing or production or just critiquing of how you're doing. Okay, make sure that you're showcasing the professional way to do it, the ethical way to do it, and the educate your viewer at the same time. Very, very important. Be loyal to the people that you support. Provide value to them, and you will never fail in this industry if you continue to keep those things and the other things we talked about in this video in mind. Again, from VideoGearShop.com, Warnke Enterprises, and TheHuntingChannelOnline.com, I'm Dustin Warnke. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this video, and we are here to help you start your new show.